Alright, g'day guys, Matt Preston Built Cruisers, and back to another video. Now, today's video is about the 2026 Hilux, which has just been announced, and internet's going crazy over it. There's a lot of memes. I thought we'd just jump over it quickly and assess the price, assess what you guys think, because I've done previous episodes on the new Ranger and stuff, and you guys seem to like it. So let's do a little rig rundown slash what's expected of the 2026 Toyota Hilux. Alright guys, let's get straight into it. So first things to notice is the front end. Now, the looks are getting a lot of good memes online. It's been compared to a Haval, an LDV, even a Triton. So it's getting all these comparisons, and the main reason is because they've gone for a really sort of sharp, thin front headlights, as you can see here. And also, not to mention, it just gives it that sort of LDV look. Now, there's a lot of good memes online if you haven't seen them already, but basically everyone's saying it looks a bit cheap and rushed, but also, there are some people that are saying it looks really good. I personally think it actually looks quite nice, and it would be like when the 79 came out. Everyone hated the big square and the big circle lights from the old 79, and then now everyone loves them. So I think everyone will hate it at the start and then will love it eventually, but you guys let me know what you think. I actually think it looks all right. Now, I also mentioned, guys, the front end face is actually 100mm higher. So if you put the old one next to the new one, it will be about 100mm higher, and that's basically a looks thing, guys. It just makes it look a bit more aggressive, a bit more presentable, and keeps up to date with sort of the modern utes with that high look. Kind of like the 60 series bonnet with that square end, high end look. And I think it will look good. I think it does look good. But when you put a bull bar on it, and you see there's a photo that Toyota released with the bull bar on it, the lights are so high near the top, and there's just a big gap, and then the bar. So I think that looks a bit silly compared to at least the Ford Ranger with the big C-clamp headlights. Fills it all in. No guys, also engines. So basically guys, they're discontinuing the 2.7 litre petrol and the 2.4 litre diesel. So if you want those, can't get them anymore. So they're only going to be doing GD6, the 2.8 litre diesel. So now guys, remember back in the day with the N70 Hilux, when the 3 litre D4D, everyone loved that motor, and everyone was sad when they sort of downgraded slash upgraded to the 2.8 GD6, but now everyone loves it. So same thing again, this car will have the same engine, GD6, and they're coming out this December supposedly, which is crazy quick, but there's a big reason why, and I'm sure you guys have noticed as well, and it's because they've used basically the same Hilux chassis and body as the last previous generation. So remember guys, this is meant to be a new generation Hilux, like sort of whole new model, and half the car is the old car, which is a bit upsetting. People are a bit upset about. They've kind of cheaped out a bit and used the old chassis, old body. They haven't completely sort of redesigned it like the Ranger, Triton, all those other car brands have actually changed, you know, around the doors and all that sort of section, whereas this is the exact same. So we'll go over the tub though. The tub is different, and you guys have probably seen photos as well. I think it looks quite good. Yet again, it's getting compared to Nissan Navara, Triton. It all looks very similar, but it's hard to make it look sleek and modern without copying everyone else. But I like the look, and it's got the practical side step. You can put your foot in there and step into the back instead of getting the tyre. I think that's a little good thing they've done there. But unlike the Ford, the little sort of sports bar rack, you can slide that on tracks on the top end model. Toyota, you can't do that. It's just a plastic piece that sits there, and it's not structural. So not great. Not very practical, and being Toyota, you'd think they would be able to do that, but they haven't done that, which is a bit unfortunate. So little things to watch out there, guys. If you are looking to buy one, you may not have that versatility out of the box like some other utes. Alright guys, I should also mention with the engine, there's a battery electric model coming out early next year. So interesting to see how that goes and people will buy it or not. And what is very exciting is 2028, there'll be a hydrogen model, and this will be sort of one of the first full drives with the hydrogen sort of engine, and it's going to be able to, you know, be one of the sort of mass-produced ones in that sense, and from a big company like Toyota. So interesting to see if that takes off or not, but that is still about 3 years away. But if you are going to get the sort of electric one, that's an option as well, maybe for the mines. But they have, like we said before, axed those other two engine variants, the 2.7 petrol and the 2.4. So you might end up getting those models. Another thing to mention as well is they won't be selling like the low clearance models. So all the Hiluxes will be high clearance, which basically, if you don't know what that means, guys, is the current N80 model, you can get like a low version with the tray and it's lowered, more just for going to work, no full driving, whatever. Yeah, you can't get that anymore. So basically everyone's going to be getting sort of, you know, and they obviously look better as well, but they're going to be sitting off the ground a bit more, looking nice. But I do say I really do like the look of them. Another thing to subtly mention as well is they've discontinued the Fortuner. So that was meant to be their budget-friendly sort of solution to the Prado, because it's a little bit cheaper based off the Hilux chassis, but they've actually canned that. So if you're going to get a Fortuner, or wait for the new model, because remember it's based off the Hilux. So if the new Hilux comes out, then the new Fortuner would have come out, but they've actually stopped that. So that's interesting in some aspects. So they obviously want you to buy the Prado and the Hilux. So very interesting there. Another thing to mention also with pricing is they reckon it'll be about 3 to 4 grand more, give or take, on the base model. And that's just speculating. But remember, because they're not going to be doing the 2.4 diesel and the 2.7 petrol, the cheaper models, the cheapest models going to have the 2.8 in it. So the prices will be obviously a little bit higher starting off the bat. So another thing to keep in mind for all these companies that buy mass-produced Hiluxes and just get them all, they're not going to be getting these 2.4, 2.7 litre petrol. They're going to be getting the more expensive option. All right, guys, we've finally got an interior change in the next gen Hilux. Very exciting now. Photo on the screen next to me, you guys can probably see it as well. You can see it does look quite different, which is very exciting. Obviously it's got the square dash and looks a bit more like the 250 Prado, but I've also heard rumors it's quite similar to the RAV4, so they've kind of just taken the RAV4 interior and thrown it in the Hilux. So nothing too crazy out of the box, but it does have that 12.3-inch touchscreen, which is a big upgrade over the old one, you can probably see there. And I think, you know, the middle console looks quite modern, and I do like the square steering wheel look. And remember, guys, there's no more sort of old style speedo and rev count. It's all a screen now, so they've really upped that and made that quite modern, competing with the Ranger. Remember, guys, that's got a huge screen, way bigger than this, and it's also got the digital display already for the speedo. So they're sort of always one step behind Toyota with that sort of stuff, but you get the reliability and everyone loves it for that. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, interior is upgraded, and I do say it does look quite nice, but it is very similar to a 250 Prado and a RAV4. All right, guys, towing in this Hilux is still 3.5 ton. And also to mention with the rear tail lights, the indicators and reverse lights are halogen, which some people are a bit angry about, because this is going to be one of the most expensive utes on the market, basically in your high 70s, 80s category. And it's got halogen lights, same as this car, the 60 series from the 80s. So take that as you will, but everyone does sort of like the red LED lights. They look quite nice, but like I said before, they look very much like a Navara. Now, another thing to mention as well, the track width of the new Hilux is a little bit like sort of skinnier, and what I mean by that is the Rogue One Hilux previously, that got a wider track, wider wheel track, and you can notice as well the flares are massive, whereas this has gone back to sort of normal. So you could probably expect in the next year or two Hilux release like a Rogue version or a very wide version, and it's going to have the extended flares and the wider track. So something to keep in mind as well, a little bit sort of skinnier, which is obviously kind of a disadvantage for off-road depending what you're doing. And also the tub, at least in the higher end models, sort of comes with that sort of marine carpet on the tailgate, and also the whole bed. So great if you want to put some stuff in there. Hopefully it's waterproof enough, but if you've got rocks and some serious stuff, you know, you probably would rather get a tub liner or something. But something to keep in mind as well, that's all sort of carpeted. Another little detail as well is that Toyota this time was actually designed by Australians, which is kind of interesting. And it also, in saying that, it still looks like an LDV, so take that as you will. But yeah, Australia actually sort of designed the front and rear end of the car this year. But like we said before, because that middle body is just the N80, which is like over 10 years old, it just sort of, if you just look at that, you can just tell it's the old Hilux. So they have sort of cheaped out, unfortunately, and it's a little bit of a shame from a big company like Toyota to sort of do that when they kind of have the funds and the research and the money, when they could sort of redesign it or make it different and make it bigger. But they've just copied and pasted the same initial design, so that's a bit upsetting. But let me know what you guys think below. That's just my thoughts and opinions, and let me know if you have seen any red flags about the car yourself. But that's just a little quick run through from me, guys. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time on Built Cruisers.